Welcome back to Blacks in Motion. It's our final segment. Like we said, we're going to give you our awards of who really stood out in the NFL this year, and we'll toss a little Super Bowl picks on the back end. Now, Coach of the Year, there were some great candidates. I mean, Bruce Arians in Indianapolis, who took over for Chuck Pagano because of Pagano's serious injury with the leukemia and the chemotherapy and all that. Arenas took a team who won 2 games last year, led them to 10, as Clif alluded to earlier. He was a great candidate. Mike Shanahan in Washington, allowed a quarterback to come in, and he built a game plan for that quarterback to succeed. Washington went on to win the NFC East. Another great candidate. But here at Blacks in Motion, we're going with Leslie Frazier. Because outside of Adrian Peterson, who else is there? Christian Ponder. He's
unproven.
The wide receivers, after Percy Harvin went down in week 8? Who else throwing the ball to? And Adrian, like we said, had already eclipsed 2,000. It was 9 yards short of taking out Eric Dickerson's long-held record. Leslie Frazier, to me, Coach of the Year.
By far, easily. Shout out to Leslie Frazier out there in Minnesota. Now, the next player we want to highlight is a defensive player.
Yes, sir.
The defensive player of the year. And for me, he started off hot and kept it just as consistent. Some of the other guys that were in the running kind of went on and fell off. And we're talking right up the road down I-10, the Houston Texans, J.J. SWAT! Or should I say J.J. Watt? Listen, the defensive end out there for the Houston Texans, J.J. Watt, what can I say? Second in the league in sacks.
Yeah.
I mean, to do that from that defensive end position and moving all up and down that defensive line there for the Texans, amazing. He has always been the spark plug and the most consistent player on that defense for the Texans all season. Even after they lost Brian Cushion, he was still able to hold down that defense enough. And like I said, his nickname, J.J. SWAT, you didn't know if the guy was playing darn football, volleyball, basketball, whatever it was. He was swatting balls out the sky all day long. I'm pretty sure he leads the league in with the most deflections for a defensive player on the defensive line. So the defensive player of the year, J.J. Watt, Houston Texans.
Yeah. Now, Rookie of the Year, it's been hotly debated across the nation. Here at Blacks in Motion, we're just going to give you the deal. Now, RG3, love him. Loved him all year. He's been doing a great job. Alfred Morris, again, with that duo, it's almost like you can't separate one from the other. They cancel each other out. Andrew Luck, from 2 wins to 10. Awesome. Dude made a lot of mistakes, though, this year. A lot of interceptions, but he had to make a lot of plays because that's what they brought him in to do. Now, you got some other guys who showed out, but Russell Wilson in Seattle. Russell Wilson, you ask? Why? Well, he wasn't even supposed to be the guy. Matt Flynn, who was from Green Bay, was supposed to be the quarterback. Wilson beat him out the job. Russell Wilson, most TDs for a rookie quarterback. Interceptions, least amount of interceptions this year for a rookie quarterback. Can do it with his arms and his legs. Guy doesn't make mistakes. And he showed to be a leader and lead his team to almost an NFC West crown. Now, Rookie of the Year, absolutely Russell Wilson.
Yeah, no debate there. And plus, he wears a number 3. I like that number 3. But yeah, Russell Wilson, Seattle, definitely Rookie of the Year. A lot of people not going to agree with us, but that's what we think at Blacks in Motion. We don't care. It's okay. So, for the last award, MVP. Now, check it out. You know, we're going to do something a little weird here. We're actually going to pick co-MVPs.
Yes.
And the weird thing about it was these guys could have been co-comeback players of the year.
It's true.
Our co-MVPs here at Blacks in Motion are none other than Adrian Peterson and Peyton Manning.
Absolutely.
Look, I'm going to keep this short and simple, and then I'm going to let Caesar, maybe he can add something to it, but I'm going to keep it short and simple. Adrian Peterson, like we said before, 9 yards short of breaking Eric Dickerson's single-season rushing record. And that is on a reconstructed knee. He kept taking the ball, 7, 8, 9 men in the box on defense. It did not matter. Adrian Peterson was one word: unstoppable. He lived up to his nickname, AD, all day. That's what he did. Big yardage. Yep. Hats off to Adrian Peterson. Now, Peyton Manning, I was one of his biggest critics because I didn't believe in the arm. I thought his nerve had killed his arm strength. At the beginning of the year, he was throwing wobbly ducks. The passes were just ugly, but they were on the mark. And as we've seen over the course of the season, they have become even more accurate, and the spirals have been becoming more tighter. So he is looking like the Peyton Manning of old. Led the Denver Broncos to a run at the end of the season where they won 11 straight games. I don't care who they were playing.
Ungodly.
11 straight games.
It's crazy.
On a lame arm. Well, his co-MVP ship here is not lame. Hats off to Peyton Manning.
Yeah, and that's going to lead right into the Super Bowl. Look, I'm just going to be flat out. I see Denver Broncos winning the AFC. You're not going to come into the Mile High City and dominate a team who can dominate you in the passing game with 2,000-yard receivers, and they've made no Sean Moreno relevant again.
No Sean Moreno.
Looking at Denver, NFC, I'm sticking with the Seattle Seahawks. Now, they got to go on the road the entire playoffs. But it's been done before by the Giants recently. The Giants can do it. I think Seattle can do it. They run the ball, they pass the ball, and they play stone cold defense. Broncos, Seahawks, Super Bowl champion for me, Denver Broncos.
Now, we have our own opinions here. Sometimes they differ between Caesar and I, but I'll say this. I agree with the Denver Broncos. I think that they're excelling at the right time. I think that the home field advantage is a very big advantage for them, you know, because I think the only team in the AFC that can compete with them are the New England Patriots. But if they have to travel to Denver, it's going to be a problem. I look for Denver to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. Now, as much as I love the Seattle Seahawks and I love Russell Wilson, again, I'm big on pedigree. And right now, the Seattle Seahawks have not been successful consistently enough. So, yes, I know I fall back on my lawns all the time, and I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers. I think the Packers are going to come out of that win out of Minnesota. They're going to roll over the suspect Falcons, even though I like them a lot too, and look for them to play the Seattle Seahawks in the NFC Championship game. And because they have to go to Green Bay and play the Packers, I can see Aaron Rodgers. And again, I trust him. I trust his savvy and his swagger. And I see him going to another Super Bowl. Super Bowl champion, though, I'm going to agree with Caesar and go with the Denver Broncos. Never really liked the Broncos. Never even liked Peyton Manning. But I love football. And they're playing the best. But that's what we think.
Yeah.
Our picks for the playoffs, our picks for the Super Bowl, and our picks for the awards. But that might not be what you think. You might not agree. You may agree. But we want to hear from you. So go ahead and hit us up on our emails, clif@blackvideonews.com or caesar@blackvideonews.com. Until next time, we'll see you again right here at Blacks in Motion.